Happy Sunday, YouTube. You know, I was watching Bradley's video this morning, and he made a comment that really struck a chord with me. And that was, how do you know, or how can you tell a closer from a regular salesperson? The number one sign is simple. When the client says no, or they say they want to think about it, or they got to talk it over with a friend or a family member, but the agent is still able to close them, even though the client said that, that's a closer. You know, a lot of salespeople, when they get to the close and they get some form of negativity, they shut down, and they easily fix it by just moving on to the next lead. Well, that's an easy fix, but your cost per acquisition is going to go through the roof because you're going to have to buy a lot more leads to make one sale. And Bradley touched on another thing, that when you go into sales, there's also a systematic way of closing. It's not like some people are better than others. It's just that they've been trained. They understand that psychology. And unfortunately, guys, a lot of agencies, IMOs, they don't do a lot of closing training. You know, they just give you a script, they give you leads, and then it's up to you to go out there and make it happen. And that's why you see so many agents with these huge contracts. But then when you take a closer look at how many sales they're making, there's nothing there. They're not making a profit, or they're not selling fast enough to justify buying more leads. And it comes down to closing. You know, a lot of groups, they hire on the basis of the 80-20 rule. You know, 20% of the sales staff does 80% of the sales. Well, I bet that top 20% are trained closers. That other 80% are a bunch of salespeople that are just basically closing on the low-hanging fruit, the people that didn't say no when they made the offer. They picked it. And that's easy. And when I saw Bradley's, comment today, it just really motivated me even more, because that's exactly what we do with our program. You know, selling is one thing, closing is another. And that is that I dedicate my energy, my time in helping new agents understand that psychology. Understand that when a client says no to the offer, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to buy today. It's just you need to understand that that is not enough no's, but K-N-O-W, not N-O. It's all it's a mental game. And I pride myself in that. We've had a lot of breakthroughs this week. Some of my agents that are in training, they sit back and ask, well, why is it that this agent over here is writing so much more than this one other? Simple. That agent understands the closing strategies very, very clearly, and they're not afraid to use them. So guys, if you guys don't know who Bradley is, Bradley owns a company called Lightspeed, and they basically take all the content training from people like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, and they put it on a virtual platform, and their job is training. So the fact that he's saying that definitely is powerful, because he's in training and he recognizes that closing is a skill that is learned and developed. We're not born with it. So guys, as you're hanging out on this Sunday, I'm getting ready for this 49ers game. Hopefully we make it to the Super Bowl. But if you're struggling, if you have high compensation, but you're not making sales, probably you're having closing problems. If you have a small contract but not making sales, chances are you have a closing problem. That's why a lot of people, they shy away from buying leads, because their confidence not there. And they don't want to invest in the leads because they know they're not going to close enough sales to make money. So they go off for the big contracts, but then they realize that even though they have these massive contracts, without having that closing skills, guys, it's not going to work. The guys that take smaller contracts, If they're not trained on the closing skills, it's not going to work. So take a moment today and really think about that. And if you are struggling with your close, call me. I'm going to show you what we do over the telephone. We do this every single day, and we have a focused training for it. We don't do mass recruiting. So if you've reached out to us and we haven't gotten back to you, I do apologize, but myself and my small group of leaders, we're the ones that do the training. So most of the time during the week, we're focused on selling, developing, and training. But be patient with us. We'll get back to you. Tomorrow, we're going to have another opportunity webinar. And we invite you so you can see exactly how it is that we do our sales as well as our closing. So you guys all enjoy your Sunday, and see you guys at the top. Peace.